anyway.
No, I'm not bad.
Exactly.
I like to have an untouched shirt. I'm giving a share unless I have something covered. I like to be untucked, I'll tell you. Okay.
You're making me feel bad. Yeah, don't touch it.
No, you're listening, you're not saying.
When you say you should have tucked in?
You say?
When you say you should have tucked in?
No.
No? What's your thing?
Same thing when I'm saying Shiur.
It's like a little Habitachon. Shirts are always like that, but you never notice.
I go with comfort over.
Yeah, that's my motto.
You have to be careful.
I like you.
Okay.
Well,
Want to ask them nicely? I want to ask them nicely.
oh, guys, guys who have a shirt now.
Okay. Okay, so we are on page, really on page 176. 176, which is actually a huge number. Now that just hit me. What does 176 have to do with this week? I think I'm right. How many Pesukim in Parshas Naso?
176.
I think it is. Can you look? Is it 176? Which is the same as two other things. 176 Pesukim in Naso is the longest parsha. I think I'm right. Can someone look this up so I don't sound like a fool? Well, tell me like this. What's 8 times 22? Do on your calculator. What's 8 times 22?
176.
Is it right? It is, right? Right, so 8 times 22 is 176 because that's Kuf Yud Tes in Tehillim. Kapitel Kuf Yud Tes, the really long one. It's 8 Psukim, 8 Aleph, 8 Beis, 8 Gimel, 8 Dal. So 8 times 22 is 176. And also, if you look at the Bava Basra, the longest Masechta, is also 176. So Parshas Naso, the longest Parshas is 176. The longest Kapitel Tehillim is 176. And the longest Masechta is 176. If you could tell me what that has to do with anything, what? Go find out, yeah, 176.
176. 311 lines.
311 is Gematria each. Ain't Shem Yesh. But anyway, that's not for now. Maybe we'll
2,264
No. We just want psukim. No words here. That's too much for us. Okay, anyway. Has nothing to do with anything. I mean, or it has something to do with everything. It's 3 times 176. 5. Avi, where's Avi? Avi, come on.
What? 3 times what?
176. You just asked me that so you could...
528.
Is it? 528?
Yes.
I forgot what I had a Gematria the other once.
Who?
Anyway, okay.
And what's the symbol?
I'm not sure. I remember I wrote about it once. I can't remember now. I'm trying to think about
I've
it.
had this problem.
My whole life, I think. I just didn't know I always had the problem. That was Habitachon Indian. Okay,
We're
everybody ready?
on 178, but you're going back to 176 because you wanted to work it into the natural.
We're on 176 right now.
I don't know.
I have mine at 176.
Yeah, we're on 176.
How was that?
We're in the middle of the next section. The middle of the section was mitzvahs. Okay, of course, we're on the Sugya Habitachon. We got to get back into it. Last week, I know. I had a big graduation. Sorry, I couldn't make it. My preschool graduation. Yeah, Baruch Hashem, very chashuv. So we've been speaking about mitzvahs. Right? We're talking in the area of mitzvahs. The last category was mitzvahs, your own mitzvahs, chovos levavos, that pertain to you, between you and a Kodesh Baruch Hu. When you're doing mitzvahs, where does bitachon come in? Bechira, hishtadlis, gemar, hamaisa. Remember the 3 parts to every avoda. The original thought to do it, the hishtadlis, the efforts to do it, and then the actual completion of the maisa. When it comes to mitzvahs, your own personal mitzvahs that only affect you, the bechira is on you, the hishtadlis is on you. Asking Kodesh Baruch Hu to help you have a pure heart and to complete the maisa mitzvah, that you could have bitachon for. Bitachon means to be calm and tranquil, however it goes. So however, once you get to the Gemara Maisa, that's when you could just trust the Kodesh Baruch Hu. You can let all of your responsibility, you could just let everything go. So whether you complete the Maisa, you didn't complete the Maisa, it's up to Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's what he wants, nothing to be upset about. It could be that if the Maisa was not completed and I analyze and say, you know what, maybe I could have done better for the next time. Not maybe I could have done better, and then in the past I could have done the mitzvah. No, that's borderline kfira. What's done is done. That's what a Kodesh Baruch Hu wanted. But if I can analyze what happened to move on to the future, again, without any expectations that is the actual thing, because at the end of the day, Kodesh Baruch Hu decides whether you're going to complete the Ma'aseh. You have to do your shtadlus, but then leave it to Kodesh Baruch Hu, and then that's where the trust comes in. Therefore, you could stay b'simcha, you could stay b'menuchas hanefesh, however the mitzvah turns out. You could even close your eyes. That's it. Take the shot and then just walk away. That's it. Now we're discussing mitzvahs that affect other people. Start to mix in other people. There's a whole new set of nisyonos that come specifically in the area of bitachon. Many nisyonos whenever we deal with anybody else. Many things, especially midos. The Indian of midos becomes aroused because you're dealing with other people. Bitachon, if we learn it properly, can help us in all areas. So the mitzvahs, we'll just tell you over the mitzvahs. They were on page 174. He mentioned, you could think of your any mitzvah, but of course, tzedakah, teaching Torah, teaching people proper conduct in midos, warning other people against bad behavior, tochacha, those kinds of mitzvahs, returning deposits and debts, keeping a secret, that was a chiddush, speaking good about people, behaving kindly, honoring parents, trying to bring people back, doing kiruv, advising people, having compassion on whoever needs compassion, being merciful towards people, tolerating embarrassment if someone tries to embarrass you. All of these is dealing with other people, all these mitzvahs. So let's go back to 175. Page 175, let's start from here. Let's just read the English straight, because we already read it. So I just want to get back into it. 175, right side on the bottom. Second paragraph. What is the proper way to have bitachon regarding these aforementioned matters? Mitzvahs that engage with other people. The person should have in his heart the intention to do all these acts and the like, should the opportunity arise to do them. Okay, that's up to you. Have in your heart, you want to do the mitzvahs. When the opportunity does arise, he should make the choice to do them. Bechira, that's your choice. That's not bitachon. That's your choice. And pursue the means with which to do them. Hishtadlus, that's on you. As already explained in the fourth category, like I just explained, the mitzvahs that have to do with only you. About the obligation to choose to observe the mitzvahs while having in mind the goal of drawing others close to God. Whenever you do a mitzvah that engages other people, why are you doing that mitzvah? So this is, anybody who was here 2 weeks ago. This is the major nakuda we spoke about. Why are you doing a mitzvah with other people? Why are you giving tzedakah? Why are you advising them how to serve Kodesh Baruch Hu? Why are you rebuking them? Why? The answer is because you are a shliach Hashem. You're shliach Hashem. And if you're a shliach Hashem, that has nothing to do with you. It only has to do with the mishalech, the sender, God himself, who sent you, who gave you the ability to help somebody else, who gave you the money, who gave you the opportunity to know this person, who set you up in the room with the person at the same time to know that he needs tzedakah. Kodesh Baruch Hu set it all up. You're just that guy, that human being, as the pipe, the Yad Hashem. You're the Yad Hashem, you're the Shliach Hashem. Therefore, any mitzvahs that we do that engage with other people, the ultimate kavanah is, I'm a Shliach Hashem, I'm trying to bring others close to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Because if you help a person and you take credit for it, what are you doing? Think about it. If you give tzedakah to a person, you loan a person money, you give a person good advice, and you think for a second, or whatever percentage points, you think you're helping this person, you just stole HaKadosh Baruch Hu's kavod. You're taking it for yourself. Right? Isn't that what's happening? A real shliach, there's no self. It's nothing to do with me. I'm just bringing you, sir, whoever I'm helping, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to have. I'm just a little guy in the middle. Nothing.
Doesn't a messenger get a schus or something, like shliach kamosa?
Well, shliach chemos, you know what that means? Shliach chemos means you're godly.
Isn't that what's supposed to be?
So great. So do that. But if you put yourself, if you think about yourself, you're not godly. No. You're you. Think about that. Right? The point is to be none of me. Are you giving money? Where do you get the money from? But you have to really think about that. How did this person come to you to ask? The more you ask those questions and answer, Kodesh Baruch Hu, so then what are you doing? I'm just a bank man. I'm just a teller at a bank.
But it is unique. It is unique because it could, that for a positive thing or low lane or a negative thing, that is also the person is.
Whatever you're about to ask, I don't know. But let's get the ultimate Madrega first. And then we can work out other pieces.
And not plug in the YU part?
Not yet. Why you is always because the Kodesh Baruch Hu decided it should be you, and be happy that he chose you to do that. But
if it's a tov.
If it's Latov. If it's not Latov, work on yourself. But let's get the strongest way to say it is that we are Shliach Hashem. We have no real part. Again, you're a bank teller. Imagine giving money. You worked thousands of hours. You made hundreds and thousands of millions of dollars. You killed yourself to make this money. Yeah. Now a person says, "I need a loan, $10,000," and you're willing to give it to him. You are just a bank teller. That's it. Nothing more. It's not even your money. That's the real way you have to look at it. You have to earn that madrega. That's not so simple, but that's the way. That's the proper hashkafa. We already learned in the Chovos HaLevavos about your bank account. Your bank account, however big it is, 10% of it is for you. The rest of it is for other people. How much money do you need to live? This is what he said. I'm just saying what he said. How much money do you need to live? You need a place to live. You need maybe you need a car. Maybe you need some food. You need some clothing. How much do you really need to live? You, not your family. He broke it down like this. Some people were bothered by this, but how much do you need? Versus the rest of your bank account, for those who can see the picture. All of this extra from here to here, it's for other people. Whether it's your wife and your kids, whether it's your community, whoever it is. It's a hard thing to swallow, but if you have true bitachon, again, you really work on yourself, you can see things in a different way. As long as we don't have bitachon. And again, everything has percentages. It's not 100 or 0 or 100. But as much as you see yourself being a shliach Hashem, even in your earning and you're making money, when it goes into the bank, that's God's money, not my money. But what usually happens, and we discussed this at length already, is that we make money, we put the time, we put the effort in, it's mine, it's in my bank account, I get to do whatever I want with it. You hear a lot of I's and my's, right? And if someone asks me for my money, I will decide if I should go and give him my hard-earned money. That's generally how it goes. It's a lot of I's and my's to get from you to that guy. Where's God in that? Where's the Kodesh Baruch Hu? But if you work on bitachon and you bring Kodesh Baruch Hu into everything, and you understand life the way it's supposed to be lived, and the money that's and the way it's earned, and the second you make any money, you have such a karas tov to Kodesh Baruch Hu that He allowed you to have it. Kodesh Baruch Hu, the money that you gave me, it's to help me. First, it's about you. Your life is first. Chayecha kodmin. Kodesh Baruch Hu, thank you for giving me this money. Thank you for giving me enough money that I could support my wife and my kids, and maybe my grandkids. But then when more money comes, like Kodesh Baruch Hu, you gave me this money. It's going to sit in our bank account. Our bank account. It's really your bank account, Kodesh Baruch Hu, but we are human, so it's going to sit in our bank account. And whenever you want me to use it, you just tell me. And I'm going to use it. A bank manager can't just give millions of dollars to any guy who comes off the street, right? That would be reckless, right? But if a guy comes in for a loan for $1,000, and you find out he probably means well, okay, so you give it to him. He never pays you back. Kodesh Baruch Hu, that's our money, and that was on you. You wanted this investment. But if a guy comes and asks you for $10 million, you're like, okay, God must have sent you to me. I don't really know who you are. Your story sounds funny. Here you go. Here's $10 million. God, this is on us, right? And then $10 million goes away. Guess what? Hashem says, hey, whoa, I also gave you a brain. I also gave you a brain to think. Why didn't you use your brain? People make these mistakes a lot. They go, mikatz al katz. It's either all my money or it's all God's money. Both are wrong. Either you don't give to anybody, I'm just making an exaggeration, or you give to everybody. Well, that's not, neither of them are right. What about das? What about your brain and God's brain, like coming together? Right? That's what we want to do here. But we have to learn like the bigger picture. We have to learn the rules and slowly settle down. and asks. And we have to ask people, and we have to try to work on things. So we have to remember the first Nakuda, which was, again, 2 weeks ago, is we are a Shliach Hashem for everything in life. You're Shliach Hashem for yourself. You're Shliach Hashem for your wife, for your kids, for Klal Yisrael, whoever you can help, whoever helps you. You're a Shliach. Sometimes you're a Shliach for a Rebbe to make the Rebbe smarter. It says in the Gemara. Was it Rabbi Nasi? I said, I'll learn the most from my Talmidim. Sometimes you're a Shliach to help others who are lower than you. Everything you're a Shliach. Just be a happy Shliach, man. Remember the Gematria we said? Anybody? You guys don't remember? This is the whole, everything I teach is just for this one Gematria. Shliach, if you take Shin, Lamed, Yud, Ches, take the Lamed and the Yud in the middle, make it a Mem. Guys. Sameach. A real Shliach Hashem is Sameach, he's happy. So if you're happy in life, you know you're being a good Shliach. But if things are bothering you in life, frustrating, and this guy got tied on this guy, and that guy didn't give me what I wanted, and he's not listening to me, and all over the place, and then you're not a Shliach Hashem, you're just an angry Amazon driver or something. Because anyway, you're a Shliach, you're just not seeing yourself as that. You can't. Yeah? So 176, back to the Avodah here. So again, the second line here said, and it's the whole tachas when we're dealing with other people in mitzvahs is the goal is to draw them close to God, because that's the point. We want to bring everybody back to the Mashalech, to the sender. Just like we're shluchim of a Kodesh Baruch, we want other people to be shluchim. You have to make them happy. You have to bring them chesed and rachamim, and not with the goal of acquiring for himself a name or honor from the people with whom he is performing these mitzvahs. That is not the point of any mitzvah. Not tzedakah, not teaching Torah, not doing anything is to get a name for yourself and to receive honor. It's actually nauseous when a person takes honor when he's just a Shliach Hashem. Kodesh Baruch Hu chose you to be a Shliach Hashem, and you're going to take that honor from a Kodesh Baruch Hu. It's nauseous to see such things. It's chaval. It's a big sign for people. Similarly, his intention in performing these mitzvahs should not be with the hope of their repaying him. You're doing a chesed for another person. A Kodesh Baruch Hu sent you to help that person. You're not doing the mitzvah. So one day, maybe if I need a favor from this guy, I could ask him. Again, then you turn the entire mitzvah into a selfish act of futures. Right? Nor should it be in order to rule over them. Whoa. The whole world is built on this. Doing mitzvahs for another person, helping another person should never be in order to rule over them. The whole world it's a power struggle. It came out the entire world. Unless you don't know about those people because they're just quiet, like on some farm. They don't care about the power. Anybody you see, it's about power. It's about everything. Okay, let's not be so negative. A lot of the world is about power. We don't even realize. You know how much chinuch habanim is about power? How much we force our children to do what we want them to do? Under the banner of what? Not under the banner of Hashem, under the banner of keep it over. Hey guys, you have to honor me, so I can tell you to do whatever I want. Of course, parents know more on the kids, but is it a power struggle? Is that what it's about? Everything's about ruling over people. If you don't have in your mind, either you're born just the sweetheart of a person, which could be, there are people like that, but if you don't have in mind that you're a Shliach Hashem and it's not really you, I'm not going to say always, each person has to know, almost always, if you help anybody, you feel to a certain degree, you have a piece of them now. You rule over them. I helped you. I helped you. You owe me. I rule over you. And if I ever need to tell you what to do, you should listen. I mean, I hear, I don't know. But I hear, again, I don't know. I hear from secondary sources that sometimes when people give money to institutions, it comes with, I could also tell you what to do. Well, if you knew what to do, wouldn't you be the head of the institution? But okay, this kind of thing goes on all the time. And it goes with our kids also. It goes maybe with our spouse. When we help other people, we feel like we own them. But you're just a shliach of Hashem. So if you're taking ownership of this person, you're stealing from a Kodesh Baruch Hu. We don't look at it like that. But shouldn't we? Is anything that I'm saying crazy? I don't think it's crazy. He's saying it. I just don't think we think about this. We see in this world superficial level only. We have to start seeing deeper. You want happiness in life? You want tranquility, menuchas nefesh? You have to start seeing deeper. Menuchas nefesh is not on the top of the ocean. That's where the craziest waves are. I forgot who said this mashal. You go 3 feet down, I don't know, 3 feet. Go 5 feet down in the water, everything's calm down there. There's no waves. It's nothing crazy. The weather is crazy. Dig 10 feet down on the ground and just live in live down in the basement. You don't even need an air conditioning down there. You don't need a heater because when you're underground, the Kodesh Baruch Hu knows how to keep it pretty good. It's when you're on the top layer, the superficiality of life. That's where the problems are. So imagine if we could live deeper. Imagine. You could live a happy life. The whole world could be crashing down. But you're living 10 feet under in a good way. In a pneumistic way. Rav Shimon Bar Yochai in the cave. That's like 2 weeks ago. Rav Shimon Bar Yochai in the cave. He's sitting and learning all day. He's happy. Okay. V'acher kach yivtach. So, okay. V'acher kach yivtach Elokim. Ba'ashlomas ha'ma'is shekivim la'asos mehem k'fi ma she'rotze bo mimenu achar she'yisa b'velav. After doing this, this was really all in terms of the hishtadlis that you're trying to do this mitzvah, trying to help another person, teaching you be a shaliach, don't be any of yourself as much as possible. You'll be free from bad middos, you'll be free from expectations of repayment. I speak to people. They help people a lot, and then they start to feel bad when no one wants to help them. Well, if you help them only to get help back, yeah, you're going to feel that way at some point. But if you help people just to help people, because you're Shliach Hashem, you're a happy Shliach. It's not easy. But if a person, okay, well, let's get to this in a minute. There's a lot going on over here. After doing this, he should rely on God regarding the completion of the act that he intended to do. Here's Bitachon again. Bitachon idea number 2 in mitzvahs regarding other people is the completion of the mice is again up to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Yes. Not up to you. Guy asks you for money, guy asks you for help, whatever mitzvah, throughout other mitzvahs that are on your mind, that we deal with other people. You try. At the end of the day, the completion of the maisa, the mitzvah, is up to Kodesh Baruch Hu if it happens or not, which is in accordance with what God wants from him, provided the person has made efforts to do so. Right? You cannot have proper bitachon, trust in the Kodesh Baruch Hu. You cannot have proper tranquility, menuchas nefesh, and simcha, and what goes on in your life. And here we're discussing specifically mitzvahs regarding other people. You cannot be calm if you don't put your proper efforts in. If you don't try to help the person, if you don't try to do whatever it is that's being asked of you, you can't just say, well, if the Kodesh Baruch Hu wants it to happen, the money will just fly out of my pocket, and then expect to feel good afterwards. Sometimes we feel bad when we didn't help somebody because we really didn't try. You could have tried, but you were lazy, or you were jealous, or you were a lot of underworld stuff going on. Lots of stuff. Usually in the old school movies, the underworld was usually like a bad place. It's a bad place until you go down there and you clean it up. Just no one deals with it, so it becomes the bad place. But if you have the disco rabbi, if you have Rav Grossman goes into the discos and he could change the entire, he went into the dark place and he brought light. And the whole world is lit up from Rav Grossman. All right? Should live and be well, Mitzvah. Yeah. You got to go into that place. The motivations, the thoughts, the desires. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. So, okay, bitachon number 1 when you're dealing with mitzvahs other people is you're a Shliach Hashem. Number 2, the completion is up to Kodesh Baruch Hu. Why do we get thrown off sometimes with these areas? What's really going on? Let me I just want to make this clear. When it comes, again, Chavos Avos, Shaar Bitachon, Bitachon. What does Bitachon mean? Menuchas nefesh, right? That's the definition according to the Chavos Avos. When we act in a way that we become, or let's say not act yet, when we become frustrated, upset, angry, bothered, vexed, irked, any of these words, right? Not necessarily nervous here, that's for the money stuff. When you're dealing with other people and you get into any mood when you're dealing with them, that means what? You're not menuchas nefesh. Correct? Let's just define clear. You're not in a state of menuchas nefesh. You're bothered, you're frustrated, you're angry. Right? Well, that must mean, by definition, you don't have bitachon. Again, during those moments. There's always, our life's a big life. We're going to be talking in a lot of areas, just not here. Right? So what is bitachon, right? Any time that we're acting in a way, because we're really causing it, or we're thinking in a way that's bringing us to frustration, bother, angry, that means we're not infusing bitachon in that area. When a person tries to take credit for a mitzvah, it's in the back of your head. You have to bring it out. It's not natural. When you try to take credit for a mitzvah, and then no one gives you the credit, then you feel upset. You're bothered. Why didn't people honor me? Why did that guy pay me back? Right? All of the chemical imbalance in our system after the fact is because we didn't employ bitachon before the Maisa, during the Maisa, and after the Maisa. So that's why you have to stop yourself. Anytime you're bothered with another human being, specifically when you help them out, stop. Why are you bothered? Why am I bothered? Well, a lot of times, because you helped that person, they did not sufficiently thank you. Simple as that. You don't want money from them. You don't want big stuff. You just wanted the person to sufficiently thank you, and they didn't according to what you thought you did for them, what you expected from them. Guess what? That's a began bitachon. What are you so bothered by? You're a shliach. Why do they owe you anything? Pause. If you're that person on the other side who received the chesed, of course you're supposed to thank the other person and give them, and a Kodesh Baruch, of course, credit for where credit's due. But the giver, the facilitator, the mashpia, the no-sane, should never, if possible, expect any thanks in return. Why? Why should you expect it?
It means you're lacking something.
Exactly. That means they have something that I don't have. Well, what do they have? Well, I gave them, they should give me. What do you mean? God gave them. What did you do?
But if you rebuke them for not doing it, then you're just a shliach Hashem.
Whoa! If you rebuke them from the purest place,
that's right.
If you were not bothered, they didn't sufficiently thank you, and you're the happiest guy in the world. But listen,
you feel bad for them. It's right.
If you really, truly, I mean, I could continue truly for like 1,000 times. Truly, you're not bothered, and you're not upset at them. Truly.
Yeah.
And you just want to help them because, listen, you really shouldn't go around the world, sir, whoever it is, not thanking people sufficiently. When people help you, you should be thankful to them. If you could do it like that, sure. It's like 1 in 10 million.
No, but there are places in your life you can do that.
Perhaps, and hopefully you do for your own children at least, but it's not so possible. But we have to work on that. We should become people who could do that. But if you're at all slighted by what somebody did to you, you're not right to rebuke him. Because that's not rebuke from a Kodesh Baruch, it's rebuke from you. Because you're slighted. So you're just in the rabbit hole and you're going deeper and deeper. And you're just digging, but you're going to the underworld. You're not going to the happy place.
But for chinuch, let's say it's your own children, that's an easier place because I just want to set my children up for success.
Correct. So with the kids, you have to balance. At the end of the day, we have to train our kids.
It should be that way.
And it should be
it's not always that way.
With the pure of heart. It should be. Okay, I'm not giving rules here. It's not so simple. But if a parent thinks, a husband thinks, a Rabbi thinks, a CEO, a manager thinks that every single time they're telling somebody what they did wrong, and they think that it's their right and they're 100% right, that's not true. You've had to work on that. You have to work on being able to tell somebody what they did wrong, but you're pure of heart and you're doing totally out of love. Right? Rebuke tochach has to come from rachmanis. Not anger, not frustration. If you're hurt by somebody, so work on it. So let's figure that out. But if you're hurt by somebody, so you could hurt them back?
No. I just want that person to stop that. Like, in other words,
That's a different story.
Yeah.
So tell them to stop it.
Right.
Okay. If someone's hitting you consistently in the face, you can tell them to stop.
Yeah,
I think that's
there
could yell at them.
There could be an interaction where somebody hurts somebody. They don't realize they're hurting somebody else, and you just say, "Hey, I don't know if you realize this, but."
Yeah, again, if it's coming from a calm, place, do it.
Then
Sometimes you need to remove yourself from the situation, calm down, bring yourself back into, reality, and then and then you can say something. I don't want to it is part of this sugya. Because really, if we start removing what was the word we spoke out last time?
Ego.
Definitely ego. Definitely ego. The everything's personal. That's it. Everything's personal. Someone says something not nice. I took it personally. Personal. Then you're not a shliach Hashem. Everything is so personal. Someone looks at you the wrong way. I'm off the whole day. What was he thinking about me? What's wrong with that guy? I always smile at him. Why is he smiling back at me? He was thinking about, I don't know what he's thinking about. He was thinking about his coffee. He wasn't even looking at you. He didn't even pay attention to you. Well, he should be paying attention to me. We get so thrown off by so much stuff. Everything's personal. We need to build up our confidence. The greatest way to build up self-confidence is to remember you're a chelek l'kamim mal. You're a piece of God. Kodesh Baruch Hu gets upset every single time we don't smile at him. We don't smile at him a lot, and we get angry at him. And he's okay. He's happy up there. Oz v'chedva b'mkamo. There's strength, there's happiness in this place. Remember, you're shliach Hashem. You should be a confident shliach, not a weak shliach. Right? Kodesh Baruch Hu put us in this world to fight, to become strong, not weak. Not that the malachim are weak, but they're not put into this world. They don't have to fight like we have to fight. Moshe Rabbeinu grabs it, fights for the Torah. Getting to Shavuos. He fought them for the Torah. Aish said, and Moshe says, what do you need the Torah for? Well, you have jealousy. You have parents you have to honor. You don't have any of this stuff. You guys could just daven all day. Halavai, we should be able to zoch to daven all day. But we need the Torah because we need to strengthen ourselves. Giborei Koach, Shemitah, Shabbos, Yom Tif, Los Ases, Ases. That's the Torah, is to become strong. But the Torah was given to have Habitachon. The Vilna Gaon writes, the tachlis of the Torah is to have Habitachon in the Kodesh Baruch Hu. You're a shliach. You're a shliach Hashem. To start seeing that, everything has to become personal between you and Kodesh Baruch Hu, but impersonal between everybody else. Doesn't mean you can't love people. Of course you have to love people. Ideally, 176. Ideally, he should perform these mitzvahs in private. So this is another facet. Let me see 1 second. One more point I think is important also.
That's a powerful one, by the way.
Which one?
The tachlis of the Torah is Habitachon. That's a big one.
The Gra writes that the giving of the Torah, I have to find it says as in a Mishlei. Some don't want to learn it the way it sounds. They want to learn it for something else. Teach their own. But it's pretty clear from the Gra. He says the tachlis of giving the Torah was that a person could get to a level of bitachon. Because the tachlis of Torah is to get to the nosein HaTorah. Yes, the nosein HaTorah, Kodesh Baruch Hu, wants us to live and do mitzvahs, to serve Him. But the tachlis is to serve Him, to get to Him. I'll tell you what one of the problems is that we have, is that if we're only makabel the Torah, Shavuos, Kabbalah the Torah, if we're only makabel the Torah, and we're not makabel the nosein HaTorah, a lot of problems come out. Again, if you're only makabel the Torah, and you're not makabel the nosein HaTorah, I was discussing this on Thursday night, big time, then a lot of problems are going to happen. Because then each person is grappling with the Torah and trying to get what they can get out of what does this do for me? Or if you do a lot of this Torah stuff, then you're better than others. But where does it say that? You're all shluchim. Yes, certain people have to look up to other people, and there is a mitzvah called to honor tzaddikim and talmidei chacham and to fear them. But again, that's not for the Talmid Chacham to demand. That's for people to want to get to, because the Kodesh Baruch Hu decided. If you're makabel the nosein HaTorah, which means emunah, bitachon, it's basically, I want to translate it into other words, a lot of things change. Midos start to be aligned. Our lives start to be aligned. We don't get so bothered when we don't receive the kavod for doing the mitzvahs. What do you mean? I'm the best Torah guy there is. Whatever that means. learning Torah, tzedakah. I'm the best Torah guy. I'm doing all the mitzvahs. So in the back of our head, well, then I deserve money, I deserve honor, I deserve. And then we don't get it, we're bothered, and we're always bothered, and we're frustrated, and vexed, and irked, and not getting what I want. We don't show it, we smile, of course, but on the inside, we're always like, well, why didn't I get what? Why did that guy get? Why didn't I get? Because you got lost. You got lost in the trees. You don't forget that the big forest. There's a Boreol, there's a creator who ultimately decides you work for him. It doesn't work for you. This is the problem. You were makabel the Torah. You were makabel the Nosen Torah. You have to really think about it. It's a fundamental problem that we have. You have to really think about it. Remember this Shavuos. Not just makabel the Torah, to makabel the Nosen Torah. That was the whole inyan of Har Sinai. Was that Kodesh was coming down. He's greeting them. He revealed himself. There's a lot of midrashim. Everything about Har Sinai is re'iyah. That's what I spoke about Thursday night. Everything re'iyah is to see what? To see a Kodesh Baruch Hu, Elokus. Yard Hashem al Har. Hashem came down to the Har. La'einei kol ha'am. For the eyes of the people to see. The 7 Rukim opened up. Hashem revealed himself because you have to, says the Ramban and others, you have to be makabel the king before you can be makabel the king's rules. The Ramban says a pashut mashal. He says there was a group of guys who came to this person. They said, give us rules. We want to keep them. They understood that they're just nomads and nomads can't live. They need structure. So they go to this one guy who was chashiv. Give us rules and we'll follow them. And the guy says, first be makabel me, accept me as the king, and then I can give you the rules. It's such a subtle difference. It's such a subtle difference. If you're only makabel the rules, you're not makabel the one who gives the rules, a lot of problems are going to happen in that little gap. It seems so small, but it's not. It's really not. Because if you're not makabel the nosein, then sometimes you might make a mistake and think that you're the nosein. That's the problem. Because unless you know clearly who's the CEO, if you don't know clearly who's the manager, if you haven't fully been subservient, if you haven't totally given yourself over to a Kodesh Baruch Hu, and you just do all the stuff, you might think it could come out that you're the guy. It happens. It happens all the time. Everybody, myself included, it happens all the time. And that's okay. We have to work on ourselves. First, we have to know the truth. So when it comes to all these mitzvahs, page 176, something very important. V'yizar k'fi yacholta b'chol ze lahastiro mimi she'ein tzarech lahodia. Ki b'yoso nistar yaschara yoser god v'masha ye'im ye'noda. He should be as scrupulous. It's lahastiro. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He should be as scrupulous as possible to conceal his actions. Tznius. Tznius is not just a girl's thing. Tznius is a Jew thing. It just comes out in different ways. You should be scrupulous as possible to conceal his actions from the people whom he does not need to inform. You do a mitzvah, whoever knows, knows. Whoever doesn't know, doesn't know. You don't have to reveal that to people. For when the mitzvah is concealed from other people, his reward would be much greater than if he were to act, than if his act were known. If his act is known, if his act is above ground level, you're in the world of the klipas. You're in the world of the honors. You're in the world of the gaivas. You're in the world of the repayment. Because everybody knows about it. When things are under the ground, you just did a mitzvah quietly. Right? All the stories, you slipped the money under the door of the person. Nobody knows. So there's no gaiva. Because the person you gave the money to doesn't know, can never repay you. Nobody knows. There's no honor here. You're just a shliach Hashem. A quiet shliach. What?
It's a real check in yourself.
It's a real check. I used to tell guys in yeshiva that you should once in a while learn by yourself in a quiet place and with nobody else there. Because if you're only learning all the time in a public-based medrash, how do you know your motives are pure? I'm not saying you're not. I just like to ask questions. How do you know? How can you prove that your motives are pure? Now, you might not care. But if you're a person who cares, think about it, it's not possible to prove. Because maybe you're only there because other people see you. The proof's when no one's there. Or when you're davening. I had a big wake-up call many years ago. It was before COVID. I'm a minyan guy. You go to minyan 3 times a day. You most nefesh for a minyan. One time I couldn't go. When you're a bacher, it's easy to make it, if you care. You get married, you have kids. That's not always so pashut to make minyan. Things happen. And one time I couldn't make minyan. And my Shemona Esrei was like 35 seconds. I still remember this. It was many years ago. And it hit me. Why did I just rush through this? But when I'm davening with other people, it's like a 5-minute, shackle. It was like an epiphany. It blew my mind. I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's a certain percentage, right? Life's about percentages. Maybe a certain percentage of my davening, a heavy percentage, is just because people see me davening. Maybe I'm not even davening. Maybe I'm just shuckling. Maybe I'm looking from. Maybe 75% of my davening was totally ego. A big wake-up call. How do you know when you do mitzvahs, is your motivation pure or not? You could talk the talk all you want, but unless you go down into that place, you don't really know. You don't know. Anybody who's so quick to say, I know, you don't know. Unless you're a person who actually worked on it for days, weeks, months, then I'll believe you. But if you just say, I know, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Chazak. You have to become real. You have to become really real. Tznius. Pasuk says about Sneya, Leches im Elokecha. It's one of the biggest pasukim we have in Tanakh. Pasuk, I think, in Micha. It's one of the 3 biggest mitzvahs because at the end of Maseches Makos, when David HaMelech is saying all the mitzvahs can be included into 11 rules, and the famous one is Rav Kook says all of mitzvahs are really under one rule. Tzaddik, Bemunaso, Yichya. It's a famous line. All the mitzvahs are really one mitzvah. It's called the mitzvah of Emunah. Everything else is just a detail. But before that, I forgot who said it, and I didn't look it up. There was one that says there's 3 mitzvahs. It's all from this pasuk. I don't remember now. I just remember this last one. One of them is tznius. It's one of the top 3 mitzvahs. Because if you do all mitzvahs as much as you can, some mitzvahs you have to do in public. When you're davening with a minyan, what are you going to do? You're davening with a minyan. But if you could do as many mitzvahs as possible, but tznius, you're a real shliach. It's not about you. It's about a Kodesh Baruch. I'm doing whatever I have to do. Sometimes you have to do things in public. That's the way it is. What do you do? That's fine. To daven, I'll give you an example. To daven, the best place to daven is right against the front wall. Gemara says you have to daven against the wall if you can. Okay, not everybody can do that. But davening in front of the wall, not everybody's going to see you. So then you have a gaiva shayla. Well, what should I do? Right? If you're davening in the front wall, it's the best place to daven, but it's the worst place for my midas. Because I'm going to be thinking about everybody's thinking of looking at me, for the Bali Gaiva. What's the answer? Daven in the front and work on yourself. Daven in the front, but work on yourself. It's true. But know that. At least know your motivations. That's okay. If you have bitachon, this is the major point. If you have bitachon, you're not scared. You're not scared to fail. You're not scared what other people think about you. A lot of our life is run because we're fearful. What are people going to think about us if we act in a certain way? What happens if I don't show off? Then they're going to think I'm a loser. All of these things. Why do we need kavod from people? Why do I need to thank you from another person? Why do I need to be honored by anybody? Why? Like those said, because I'm lacking?
Low self-esteem.
So that means I'm lacking, therefore I need other people. I'm scared. And all of this stuff. Why am I bothered another guy that he didn't help me out, he didn't do for me? Why am I bothering him? I'm lacking. I'm scared. If I don't get from those people, if they don't honor me, if they don't respect me, if they don't know what I did, then what am I? I'm a loser. But that's because you don't bitachon. Bitachon means you have the Borei Olam with you. He gives you everything you have. He loves you. He knows what you're doing. Right? Kadosh Baruch Hu knows. He sent you there. You could be the strongest person with bitachon. You don't need anything from anybody. And if Kadosh Baruch Hu decides you need something from somebody, that's what Kadosh Baruch Hu decided. Don't be scared. What are you scared? Bitachon makes you the strongest Jew in the entire world. There's nothing that can make you stronger. If you think you're strong because you give a lot of money, if you think you're strong because you learn a lot of Torah, or you think you're strong because you daven a lot, well, what happens when you're not davening, when you're not learning, when you're not giving tzedakah? What happens when you don't have a good day of davening? So you fake it? What happens? I remember this, my brother one time, was great. You have some people who daven the same amount of time every single day, like 6 minutes to the dot. I don't know how that's possible. So yeah, there was Rosh Shiva once that he had, I'm not going to say from where, and they noticed one day he was davening like a 9-minute Shemona Esrei, one day it was a 2-minute, one day it was a 4-minute. That's weird. Like, Rabbi, what's going on? That's not normal. Is everybody does like the same amount of. He's like, what do you mean? One day I felt the kavana, so I had 9 minutes. One day I wasn't feeling it. And I knew I had to just daven. It was 2 minutes. He's just real. He wasn't scared of what they're going to think about him. He's just real. Today I have kavana, so I daven with kavana. Today I don't have kavana. No, still have to say the words. I'm still having Hashem. 2 minutes. Okay. He's not going to fake it by adding 6 minutes so everybody thinks that he's some tzaddik. He has bitachon. He's connected to Kodesh Baruch Hu. What does he need from other people? No, Shavuos coming. The whole night to think about this. All right, Hashem will continue next week.
Okay.